Good afternoon, everyone. Weston with Carey Concealment. I want to talk about another tool in the shop, this time the VP9. What do we think about the VP9? 12 years ago, when I was just getting into pistols, I had an M&P compact, little stubby guy. I was looking to upgrade, and I wanted to be a little bit different and kind of avoid the Glock thing. I didn't love how the Glock felt in the hand, and the VP9 really caught my attention back then because of its grip design and how you could change the side panels to kind of get more of a swell going on here. You could change the back strap. I've got larger hands, so for me it was really nice to be able to make those changes as compared to some other firearms. The paddle mag release was kind of a weird hitch, but I wasn't too far into pistol shooting where it was a training scar I couldn't work through. So I was really fired up on these, except for the price point. I just really had a hard time stomaching the price point. So I did what most shooters do, and I went and bought 2 or 3 other handguns before eventually buying a VP9 anyways. And then sold it, and now I have another one. So my VP9 journey's been kind of interesting. In total, I might have about 500 or 600 rounds through a VP9, so I'm not a heavy user by any stretch. When I was shooting a VP9, I was in college and basically broke, so couldn't really afford a ton of ammo. But I have shot this one a little bit, and I have a few things to say about it. So first thing, yes, very ergonomic. And 12 years ago, one of the things that really caught my attention was this trigger. I mean, it's got kind of a weird take up, but a nice defined wall, and then a clean break. And the reset, not great. And then there's a little ka-chunk to get back on the wall. But at the time, 12 years ago, in my opinion, this was one of the best striker fire triggers on the market. And that combined with the grip, I was into it. I really liked it. Since then, it really seems like the brakes have been put on the VP9 as far as development goes. There's been some optic milling options now, which, if you ask me, is industry standard. That's not a feature anymore. And the biggest weakness of the VP9, and the reason I sold my original one, was that these magazines only held 15 rounds, and you have a gun that's just the same size as a Glock 17. Well, lo and behold, a year or two ago, maybe 3 by now, they did release a 17 round mag. Again, not a feature, just them finally catching up with the market. All the while, HK is up here and you're down here, and they're just, belittling you. And, if you don't have an HK, you're not as good as somebody who does. There's that whole fun online personality attached with HK ownership. So it leaves me kind of in a funky spot. I like the grip, the trigger's okay. This gun 12 years ago was probably one of the best striker fire guns on the market, and it's got a bit of a reputation attached to it. It certainly has an extra couple bills attached to it because of the name. But at this point where we are in the market in 23, this thing's kind of getting left in the dust. I don't feel like HK really cares about the American market like some of the other manufacturers do, and I think it shows with them sort of just forgetting about the VP9 and doing little this and that to kind of say there's a new thing when really there isn't. So yeah, that's my opinion on the VP9. Some of you may disagree. I can almost guarantee anybody who owns a VP9, it is not your only polymer gun. This is not a gun that most people will go out, buy as their first gun and say, yes, that's all I need. You buy this gun because you want an HK, you want to be able to have that higher ground in a conversation with your buddies. And it's kind of a curious thing between the paddle mag release and the way the grip feels. It's just a different gun. And kind of like we were talking about yesterday, if you're the guy that wants something different, this does scratch that itch. But in my opinion, the market has left the VP9 in the dust, and there's better options out there now. So, at a much better price point. This guy is still demanding premium dollars, and I think those dollars are probably better off spent somewhere else, if you ask me. That's my opinion. I'm a fan of the firearm. I'm not a fan of the price point and the world surrounding this particular gun. It's just a nothing bagel to me. But if you guys disagree, feel free to throw it out at me in the comments. I'd love to hash it out with you guys. Again, this is kind of an odd one that certain people are going to be into. So I'm here to support them with holsters. But that's about it. Take care.